This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10, and it reads, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahahakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayashar Barazal from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, coming back at you with another lesson that is edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. All right, here we have another installment of our camp series called For Thy Violence Against Thy Brother Jacob. Today I'm going to cover the Leesburg Stockade Stolen Girls of 1963. This story was pretty much overshadowed because it happened the same week as the 16th Street bombing of Alabama, which is another point in history I may look into as part of this series. Okay, but this is with regards to a protest in Georgia where they were protesting the segregated theater. I think it was something else too. I'll let the details from the article explain all of that. But in any case, some so-called black girls were who were Israelites. In reality, were trying to buy movie tickets to a segregated theater, and next thing you know, they're hauled off to jail, and parents don't know where they are. They're gone for, almost two months. But like I said, I'll let the two clips I have coming up here, and like I said, I'll place a link to the article in the comments of the video when it's done. So first things first, let's get the Fair Use Act, and it reads, Fair use is a doctrine in the United States law that permits limited use of copyrighted material without having to first acquire permission from the copyright holder. Section 107 of the Copyright Act provides the statutory framework for determining whether something is a fair use and identifies certain types of uses, such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research, as examples of activities that may qualify as fair use. In the doctrine of fair use, the law permits limited use of copyrighted material without a sanction from the copyright owner. It provides the limitations to copyright to balance the interests of the copyright owner and the public distribution. It is otherwise considered an infringement of copyright. All right. And here's the first of two clips. The first one is a summary of the article, video summary of the article. And then the second video will give an account of the ladies who were actually part of that illegal jailing, as you know what it turned out. It really was an illegal jailing. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and get the first video.
1963, 200 African-American youth was doing a peaceful protest in Americus, Georgia. Of course, they were met with resistance and was attacked by a white mob. The police, instead of arresting the white mob, arrested the 200 African-American protesters. Now, they let everybody go except for 35 young girls. The 35 young girls' ages ranged from 10 to 15. And they took them 20 miles outside of town to a Civil War era prison. And they didn't even notify their parents of where they were. Inside this prison, they were not fed the first 2 days. After that, they were rationed small portions of undercooked hamburger and eggs given to them by the jailers. They slept on dirty mattresses on concrete floor in the prison. The prison was filled with insects, and the jailers even threw in a snake to terrify the young girls. It wasn't until the SNCC photographer found out where they were and photographed the girls and took it back to the community and said, hey, this is where they are. It took 2 months for them to release the girls. And of course, after they released them, they sent the parents a bill that they had to pay $2 a day for every day that they were incarcerated illegally. Can you imagine not knowing where your girls is for 2 months? In 1963, 200.
You can't even imagine what we went through.
But other than that, I think that's it.
I started at the age of 12. My first jail time was 3 days at the age of 12.
People in Americas and Stockade has no idea what we went through because they didn't know. They did not know, and no one can talk about that stockade but these girls.
I knew that was back there.
Okay, can we go in?
Yes, ma'am, it's open.
Okay.
We going that way. You go in this way. Yeah. Okay.
We were going that way.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
In the city, it was during that time was a very violent civil rights movement that started, and we were protesting as children.
My grandmother started taking me to mass meetings out in the country, and going with her, I became very concerned about the issues, not being able to eat in restaurants, not being able to drink out of the same water fountain. Those type things were just injustices.
I was told about a mass meeting, and I asked, what is a mass meeting? It's a gathering of people. We're going to come together and we're going to talk about the situation that's going on right here in Stockade, Americus, Georgia.
I attended mass meetings for over a year before I, went to jail.
And how old were you in 63?
I was 13.
On the day that I was arrested, we was marching at the Martin Theater. There was a white side at the Martin Theater, and there was a black side. They refused us of tickets to purchase. Evidently, the young lady who was selling the tickets must have called the police department. All of a sudden, we had a rush of policemen coming down to that area.
This wasn't here. It was old. The bathroom wasn't here. It was one toilet back here on the side, and then it was a different shower head. But this was our home.
I joined the demonstration over at Allen Chapel. When we got there, we knelt down and prayed in front of the police station. And when we knelt down and prayed, Chief Chambers came out and asked us to disperse, and we did not. So they herded us like cattle.
I thought we were going to jail in Americas. No, they sent us out of town to Dawson, Georgia.
Transfer truck, a 16-wheeler, waiting for us at the back of the jail. And they put us on that dog transfer truck, and we had to stand up all the way to Dawson.
But the moment they closed that back door, it was dark. We couldn't see one other in that truck.
This was our home. This was our home.
45 long days.
This was our home.
This is the first time I've been back. This is my first time back down here. Even when Essence magazine came, I didn't come.
Me?
What's it like?
That's all right, baby. That's all right. It's genuine. Parents knew that we was in Dawson, but now you're moving us from Dawson. Nobody know where we are. We didn't even know where we were.
So we were pushed in this dirty stockade, old stockade that had been closed down, I assume, for years and years with no facility, no bed, and no water, no commode, no running commode. We slept on the hard, cold cement floor.
When we got there, we were put in a sweat box overnight with a 12-year-old there. Can't understand it. You know, like you go to prison and what they call it when they put you in the hole? Right. That's what this was. It drained all the water from our bodies. And when we walked out, the floor was full. There was a puddle of water on the floor.
Only one guard, an older gentleman. We call him Pops. His last name we found out was Mr. Countryman, that wore beat-up overalls. One of the girls was so small that the guard would take her out.
He would take her over in the room with him and feed her.
Sandra.
Okay, Sandra. He would feed Sand and give her a little stuff, and she'd come back and share. She was the youngest out of the 15 girls.
Who was that, your mother?
Sandra Mansfield.
Did she pass on?
She passed.
That's good.
She passed June the 25th of 2012. All I know, they were here 45 days old.
You know someone named Bubba?
No.
He drove the photographer out here.
I remember her telling me about a man named Danny Lyon. That he came and took pictures of the girls.
Mm-hmm. Never heard of it.
Y'all really got hot here. Yeah.
When I first came back, I still didn't shed no tears. But my cousin Sandy,
We just grew up knowing about it, but we used to ride down here on weekends. She'll show us the building, but we never came in the inside.
she come out there and she drive down here and sit on the lot.
All right. We'll go back to that opening scripture. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10, and it reads, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. And this is not your rest is talking about America, aka Babylon the Great. We are in captivity. So when it's telling us to arise, it's not telling us to leave. It's to arise and depart spiritually, to come out of the ways of Babylon the Great. Do according to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures, which is, what was given to us, but at the same time, it is also contrary to the ways of America, Babylon the Great. Okay, this place is defiled, polluted, and like I said, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. Here at this time, during the civil rights era, you had Jake, trying to integrate with Esau. That's the worst thing you can do. That was the worst thing for us, because the Lord says He has made us a special people unto Himself, above every nation on earth, roughly paraphrasing Deuteronomy 7:6. So if we're above every nation on earth, why are we lowering our standards to be equal with the base man? That makes us base. Okay, according to he's the wicked, who's the base man. Esau, Edom, is the base man, according to Job 30:8. All right, why were we continually lowering ourselves to be equal to this man when we never were, and we aren't even now? You look at Jake, even in a low state, far superior than Esau, Edom, who was a so-called white man. Okay, but when we try to conform to his ways, things are going to always go bad for us. Always, and that's why it tells us to arise and depart from the ways of Babylon the Great. Okay, all right, because as the scriptures say, when a man does, roughly paraphrasing, when a man does a thing that pleases the Lord, even his enemies will be at peace with him. All right, I think that's like Proverbs 16:7. But yeah, when a man pleases the Lord. So how do we please the Lord? Doing our very best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, doing our due diligence to make the calling of our election sure. And, I understand at this time, the truth was, just on the verge of starting to come out, and Jake would start to wake up at this time. But you got to remember here again, it says, "This place is not our rest. We will not be at rest until we're back home in those, celestial bodies in the undefiled land of Israel." Okay, all right. Because here again, there was a problem trying to integrate, and early on in the 1900s, with the likes of Black Wall Street and Rosewood, even when we were on our own, this place was not our rest. They found a way to destroy stuff. All right. So, yeah, that's the thing. And now where we are now, fast forward to 2024, you still got Jake trying to integrate with this bastard. Still have Jake trying to do that, which is just utterly ridiculous. All right, come out of this place, come out of its ways. You know, them damn useless elections. I'm hearing these campaigns now, and it's just can people not figure out that not only are they lying to each other, they're lying to the people that's going to the slaughter, sheep going to the slaughter to like vote for them, while they're making crazy laws against the people. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. All right, but getting back to the article, like the guy said in the first video, instead of arresting the white mob, they arrested the girls. This is Psalms 73:5, and it reads, "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." And when the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, who is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the laws are going to always be in favor of them. We see that to this very day. All right. We see that to this very day. All right. And, within the clip where the lady said, while they were trying to buy the tickets, the police were secretly called. All right. This is, and they arrested them. This is Psalms 10:10. And it reads, "He crosseth and humble himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones." All right, and that's the whole thing. It says he here, but that woman, was uh, kind of like playing it off at the same time, calling the police. Okay, because they were not supposed to be. That was a segregated theater. They knew it was, and still trying to buy tickets. All right. And that's the thing. Always trying to fit in where Esau doesn't want you. Okay. And that's what she did. She, held him there, called the police. While the police came, what happened? They came and arrested him. All right. The strong ones, the military or the police, law enforcement. That's what that means. All right. And then there's the one lady said, when they asked them to disperse and they didn't quick enough do it quick enough, they were arrested. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5:25, and it reads, "Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in a way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison." Well, in this case, they never had a judge. Like I said, they were jailed illegally, so they went straight from the police to jail. Never had a fair trial, and that's what happens with Jake. All right, that's what happens. And we know that throughout history, well, fucking Esau will always bring up who's the most incarcerated. Well, he fails to look at the statistic that says who's the most exonerated. Okay, whether that person still be alive or be dead, just like we did with in the series with George Stinney yesterday. He was exonerated 70 years after his death. Come on now. That's beyond messed up. All right. So just to show you, these people know who we are. They were saying that that those girls were given uncooked hamburgers and uncooked eggs. All right, and we know if those hamburgers were uncooked, they still had some probably a remnant of blood in them. All right, which is against the law for the nation of Israel. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 17, verses 13 and 14. And it reads, "And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof, and cover it with dust." Verse 14, "For it," meaning the blood, "is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off." So to you jakes that are, eating, um, you know, uh, meat, medium rare, is not fully cooked, and the blood is still visible, you going off. You going off. In this case, this is the only thing that the girls had, while they were locked up, for the length of time that they were locked up. All right. And he also said uncooked eggs, and we know uncooked eggs, can lead to salmonella. You know that's a fact. And I just want to make it clear: this is not, medical misinformation. It's the truth. You know, uncooked chicken, uncooked eggs can lead to that, and sometimes death. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4 and verse 13, and it reads, "And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said, Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." And this place, Babylon the Great, the real shithole of a country, is where we were driven to. And I say shithole because it's the way that they have treated us since as long as we've been over here. You know, we had a set affliction, and they furthered it. Made it worse. All right. And that's we are among the Gentiles over here. We are not at home. As the opening scripture said, this place is not our rest. And the scriptures tell us, according to Isaiah chapter 14, verses 1 through 3, we will not be at rest from our enemies until we get home. Okay, back to our land when it's cleaned up, it's not defiled. All right. And so, yeah, that that's a couple of things, that we had to consider while these Israelite women were illegally incarcerated. All right. And then, what's kind of crazy, after they got out, each girl was charged $2 a day for every day that they were incarcerated in a facility that had not been used for years. And remember, this is a Civil War for facility. So, and it was in Georgia, which was a Confederate state. This was still the Jim Crow era, because the civil rights law had not been passed yet, and you still got some Jim Crow going on now. So those people were pretty pissed, and this is, almost 100 years after the so-called abolishment of slavery, which was really the transfer of ownership from private slave owners to uh, um, um, the federal government, when you go to jail, according to the 13th Amendment. So it really wasn't the freedom of the slaves, because while the 13th Amendment was being ratified, they were putting laws on the books for Jake to go back to jail, such as loitering, not having a job, loitering, you standing in line waiting for a job. Okay. So, yeah, this again, just going back to prove that this place is not our rest. But that 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 crazy bill, that they had to pay was ridiculous. Um, $2 a day, which is a lot of money back then. $2 a day for each girl for every day that they were there. That was certainly an unrighteous decree because they knew the place was closed down. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, and verse 1. And it reads, Woe, which means destruction, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievousness which they have prescribed. So they had a whole lot of time while these girls were locked up to write that law or that invoice charging those parents $2 per day for each girl for every day that they were locked up, which is just crazy. And how are they going to contest it? This is Georgia. We see what Georgia's like today. The shit they're doing down there right now. And it's about to be probably worse now than it was then, especially with 2024 being declared as the year, hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, according to our beloved apostle Tahar. Okay, because they're building that huge cop city down in Atlanta right now, and militarizing them with army grade, weapons. All right, against the public. All right. So yeah, how are they going to contest that? At that time, they didn't have the power to do that. And this is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 10. Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha. Slaki, verse 11. And it reads, Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is to be found nothing worth. And they knew that Jake didn't stand a chance in the South, as we know that today. They, one way or another, they were going to, it would have been very easy for them to get a judge to uphold that costly invoice for illegally incarcerating those girls for the length of time that they did. All right, that's just the way it is. All right. So as I get to the conclusion here, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 21, and verse 16, and it reads. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Now, although this particular case, is not what this is talking about, it is a microcosm of what's going to happen to those who, stole us and sold us, and we're still here. We're found in Esau Edom's hand right here in America, all 12 tribes. As the scriptures say in Jeremiah 50 and 30 and 3, 15:33, Judah and Israel are pressed together, right here in Babylon, roughly paraphrasing. Okay. And they made a profit off of us, and that, by selling us. In this case, they made a profit off of, charging those parents, $2 a day for each girl for every day that they were locked up in that ex-Civil War facility, which had not been used for years. Okay, but here again, even though nothing has happened right now, their tab is building up. You can believe that. Esau is going to have to pay for what he did to the nation of Israel on this soil and on all the lands where we were scattered to. Okay, they will pay for it. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 11. Okay. And it reads, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart or the minds of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. And once again, like I read in Psalm 73 and 5, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. But because he has not met judgment for all the stuff that he's done, it says, therefore the heart of the sons of men, or he is of the sons of the wicked, okay, is fully set in them to do evil. He's going to he has continued to run up his tab full of evil, and, you have to pay for that. He will have to pay for that. All right. Verse 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and yet his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which fear before him. Okay, Slakia. So yeah, even though it looks like they're getting away with it, those who fear the Lord, they're still going to be good when it's all said and done. But as far as the wicked, this is verse 13, Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 13. And it reads, but it shall not be well with the wicked who is Esau, Edom, according to Malachi 1 and 4. Okay. Neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And we know Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, after he serves his punishment in slavery, according to Revelations 13, 9 and 10. And he's going to do that double, going to receive double for what he did. That's Revelations 18, 5 and 6. He is going to be ultimately exterminated by the children of Israel, according to Obadiah 1 and 18. All right. All right. But, here again, this like I said, a lot of these scriptures are going to repeat themselves because, Esau kept doing the same wicked shit over and over and over again because the power was in his hand, according to Micah chapter 2, verse 1. All right, 1 and 2. All right, same thing in Proverbs 4 and 16. All right, he's going to have to pay. And the Lord said that. This is the book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 11. And it reads, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. All right. And those transgressions, 3 transgressions are for 4, and for 4, that's, continuous sin. He's known as the man of sin. It just doesn't stop. And the Lord said, for that he will not turn away the punishment thereof. And gave the reason why. Because he did pursue his brother, who was his brother, Jacob. Jacob and Esau, the twins born to Isaac and Rebekah, okay, in Genesis 25, all right, and did cast off all pity. He had no mercy, even when you go to Genesis 27, he swore that, when Isaac passed away, roughly paraphrasing, he was going to slay his brother Jacob, which, if you slay Jacob, there's no 12 tribes of Israel, okay, which is where we are today, okay. He did not have to do that because the Lord said he will not cast away his people, all right. And then, like I said, he cast off all pity. He had no mercy for us, What harm was those girls going to do trying to see a movie there, okay? None. They just do not want Jake around in their spaces. They don't want to function with Jake around. They can't function without Jake around. Okay. It's evident that the Israelites are the biggest consumers in this land. Okay. And really nothing to show for it, If you do, you have to sell out. And then if you go against them, not only do they take it away from you, they destroy you in the process. Okay, you'll never recover. All right. And it says, I went on to say that, and he kept his wrath forever, forever. Okay. And that forever is until Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, uh, um, you know, that the destruction comes. He brings that destruction, and the Lord saves us. Okay, gets us out of this hellhole. Sets us back in our own land as He said He would. You know, according to Baruch 30, chapter 2, verses 30 through 35, and like I said before, Isaiah 14, chapter 14, verses 1 through 3. All right. All right. Well, that's when this wrath is going to end. All right. And like I said, He's going to have to pay for it dearly. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verses 9 and 10. All right, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. That's a man with understanding, okay? An elect man with understanding. All right, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right. And we know who led us into captivity. We were under Esau Edom's captivity in the Greek and Roman captivities. Then came the Dark Ages when Jake was in rulership. And then when the Renaissance period came back, I forget the gentleman who it started with, but, in the 1300s. However, when they came back into power, and you had all the iconoclasm going on, or iconoclasm, what we call whitewashing of history. Okay, and we can't forget, even though we were under their captivity in the Greek, Roman, and the revived Roman captivity, which is America right now, they also gave us problems. Both Amalek and the rest of the nation of Edom, when we were exiting Egypt, okay, in the Babylonian captivity, they assisted in burning down our temples, stealing of our vessels, okay, and was it in the Assyrian captivity? Um, they gave us up. I forget. I know it's in. I want to say Judith 5:21. When dealing with Nebuchadnezzar, if I recall that story correctly, he was saying that if you pretty much roughly paraphrasing, if you mess with the children of Israel and they're keeping the laws and statutes and commandments, the Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to deal with you. But if they go against their laws, statutes, and commandments, pretty much they're yours for the taking. Okay. So, and it was Esau Edom who gave us up, at that time. So, yeah, you got a lot to pay for, a whole lot to pay for. All right. This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 25. And it reads, he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which ye have done, and there is no respect of persons. There's no way around that. No respect of person. And the Lord deals with nations. Nations. Yes, He deals with individuals, but when it comes to rulership, He deals with nations. Okay? Straight nations. I mean, as as with our judgment, the remnant or the elect, yeah, we definitely had to go through some things, catching hell out here, But our hope is for that immortality, is and always will be with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, that's where we are, doing our best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, doing our due diligence to make the calling of our election sure. Doing this work, being that living sacrifice, doing these videos, showing ourselves brotherly, having the faith, all right? All those things, being circumspect, walking in the spirit, you know, doing the things that we were supposed to be, proving ourselves that we are worthy of that first ride, okay, on the chariot, you know. Get up out of here. We need to get up out of here. All right. But here again, Esau has to pay for what he did, you know, and, we can see now with the laws they're coming down with, it's gonna get tough here. But, the scriptures say the Lord will care for his elect. We're going to be all right. All right. But he's going to have to pay and pay double. We close out here. This is Revelation chapter 18, verse 5. And it reads, "For her sins," her meaning America, Babylon the Great, "have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, hath remembered her iniquities." Okay? He's made a record of all the sin that you committed. Every single bit of it, even the stuff that hasn't been revealed yet, you're going to have to give an account for. All right? Verse 6, and it reads, "Reward her even as she rewarded you." Okay? Well, we're going to do it in righteousness. All right? "And double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double." All right? So everything you did to us, you're going to get it twice as long and twice as hard, but in righteousness. Okay? And once that period is up, as Obadiah 1:18 says, you are going to be burned out of existence. And we know you know that. That's why you're going to come down with great wrath on us. All right? So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying for the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahak HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners. To you, I say Shalom, Kwam Yashrala. We got next. Shalom.